I mean, just in a nutshell, how do you feel when you first got out of college, or maybe when you're first kind of starting your career, versus now about money? Like, what's been kind of your biggest transformation or biggest kind of growth area in money?
I think just the I think we were pretty naive kind of starting off after college. I mean, we just kind of get the income and um, don't really think about much of like what percentages should we go to home. Like, I mean, you go to you. It's funny because when we bought the first house, we had a little bit of knowledge on this, but not a ton. So you go and say, "Here's what I make. Here are my debts and such," and they tell you, "Here's how much you can afford." And that's usually, I think, it's like 40, 45% if you're like take home income, which is a lot. Once you start thinking about all the other expenses you have. So being naive in terms of like not knowing this, and actually when we bought the second house, it was more like, hey, here's what you can afford. They told us that and said like, okay, we want to keep it under these. That's too high for us right now. We have other expenses that obviously don't get tracked well with your debts and such. But just being naive and not knowing kind of those percentages, and making, I wouldn't say like stupid purchases, but in terms of like we couldn't afford a new car back then, and we had a new baby, so both our cars were pretty bad, and we were moving to Colorado, which is a lot of snow. So we wanted to have a little something a little more reliable that we can go back to South Dakota. Um, Looking back, I wish we hadn't done that because that really set us back a little while. Uh,
Hmm.
but in terms of just being naive on kind of some of the things we're going to talk about today, like how much do you put to retirement? Like what's a good number at retirement? Like is 1 million enough? Is 2 million enough? How much do I need to save per month? How much should I what are some of those unexpected expenses that you should be saving for, but you probably are not? So I'm excited just to dive in, and I'm sure, like you said, there's always something new that we can take off, and I'm sure you have a lot of nuggets that I'm excited to learn more about.